It's time for the first in a series of new videos where I bring you real life with the Citroen Ami. It's the first day of my new job and we're going to be doing some commuting. I must say it is a lovely day for it this morning. A little bit rainy, a little bit horrible. Not so much for driving Ami. I mean, people seem to think that you can't use these vehicles in the rain, but I don't know why. I mean, yeah, it steams up a little bit. I've got the heater running, which probably isn't doing wonders for the sound quality. But apart from that, you know, as long as you deal with the steaming windows, the rain isn't a problem particularly. You know, the wiper keeps the screen clear and all that stuff. It's more, I'm going to be spending all day pretty much outside most of the day, apart from when I'm driving the van, making deliveries. So I would rather it wasn't raining, but not for the reasons you might be thinking. I really do need to get on with testing some anti-fog products though. Having to drive with the windows cracked open for some ventilation to stop it steaming up when it's miserable like this isn't ideal. I've got some anti-fog stuff sitting waiting to test, so I've got Rain X anti-fog, which is the sort of go-to that a lot of people are recommending for Ami, and then I've got a few alternatives which I want to test some of the, you know, this really cheap normal household product is really good for demisting windows, so we're going to try that to test all the alternatives and see if you know, you can maybe do it a little bit cheaper than buying the commercial products. I suspect that the Rain X will be the winner, but we'll do a bit of a test of some of the weird and wonderful stuff that people recommend as well. So keep an eye out for that. I keep meaning to get on with that and do that. Every time I drive when it's a bit wet and a bit miserable, I think, well, I should really get on with the anti-fog stuff, but life keeps getting in the way. We'll see if we can go without the heater for a little bit. It's very noisy. I don't know how that's going to work on the... I'm using this external mic today rather than relying on the camera's internal mic, because I think it will be really overwhelmed by the noise of the fans and the heater. So I'll try and use it sparingly to spare you spare your ears the trouble. I'm looking for some feedback on the audio. I normally get a bit annoyed when people give me feedback that I haven't asked for on the audio of my videos, but I've noticed that with Ami, whether I use the on-camera mic or I use this external mic, the audio is not great. So let me know what you prefer. So with this one, I'm pretty much exclusively using this external mic, so let me know what you think. But the on-camera mic, I think some people in the last video said they thought it was actually quite good, and you know, some people even thought it was better than when I'm using the external, so I don't know what that's about. I guess the acoustics in here aren't brilliant. I mean, all these hard plastics, hard surfaces, you know, most cars have, you know, carpeted headlining and all that stuff. There's none of that in here, just plastic, metal and glass, so a bit of an acoustic challenge, I would say. So a bit of a long shift today, but I'm 8 till 5 I'm working today. But the first day back after more than a year of not doing this job will be quite interesting. Although I believe I'm not on my own today, I'm shadowing another driver, so it should be a little bit better, a bit of a softer reintroduction to the job. But then I think I'm straight back in again tomorrow for a similarly long shift on my own, so that'll be interesting. I don't know what it'll be like. I'm working at a different store to where I did the last time. It's a different area. I really got to know the roads really well where I was delivering before, not so much here, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be alright, it just depends how busy they are. I've seen a lot of good news about Ami deliveries this week. It's been even more active than previous weeks. Almost every day, 2 or 3 people are appearing on the Facebook group saying, I've just taken delivery, which is really, really good. I've also noticed that some of the higher spec models, so the Pop and the Vibe, are starting to come through, which is really cool, because I know some of you, you might have ordered a Pop on the same day I ordered this, and you've been waiting a little bit longer, because I think there was a little bit of a hold up with the special models, which obviously they come with all of their equipment pre-fitted, so best guess is they come over without all their equipment pre-fitted and someone somewhere fits that, and there was a bit of a delay. I don't know that for sure, but it seems that the deliveries on those were a little bit more delayed than others, so it's really good news that those are finally coming through. This journey this morning is just under 3 miles each way, 3 and a bit miles each way. I will double check on Google Maps and we'll put the distance on here. I can't remember. I did look, but it's 3-ish miles each way. Going a slightly longer way to avoid the bypass, so the 50-mile-an-hour roads on the outskirts of the city. I don't really fancy those very much, for obvious reasons, but the roads are nice and quiet at this time. I think the journey home will be a bit more interesting. And I don't think I'm not overly looking forward to the journey home from a comfort point of view either. I don't think this is the vehicle you particularly want to be getting into after a hard day at work. But we'll see. You'll probably see me in pain later. I think I'd much rather be getting into my big comfy Audi, which I use for the sort of crazy commute to my other job. Now and again, I don't use it very often. Some roadworks down here. But yeah, I'm not sure Ami's going to be the car you want to be coming home to after a long day of delivering, but we'll find that out later, I guess. Just the rain seems to be easing off a bit. It's still a bit miserable, but it's not actually raining at the moment, so that's nice. And we have arrived. I will see you in a few hours, and I will probably be significantly more tired than I am now. See you later. Oh, that was quite a day. Strange to actually do some proper physical work for once. But, and I think I was right when I said that it wouldn't be the most comfortable car to come home to for the journey home. Could have done with a bit more of a supportive seat, but it's all good. One thing that I think was definitely worthwhile is just as I was finishing up at work, I went and turned the ignition on, turned the heater on, and just left it sitting, warming up and demisting. I think that's definitely the way to go. If you're getting into Ami when it's a bit wet and you know you're a bit worried about it steaming up and it's a bit cold and a bit horrible, sort of almost like preheating it like you would another electric car, you know, that has like an app or whatever. You preheat it, but you can do the same with Ami if you just turn it on and leave it for a bit. I think that was definitely worthwhile. It's been a pretty miserable day all day, raining all day. But we're okay. I've got the windows cracked open for a little bit of ventilation. It's not actually too cold, it's just wet. We're literally just making the journey this morning in reverse. Heading back exactly the same way I came. A little bit busier than it was 8 o'clock this morning, but... Certainly attracted plenty of attention as always. My new colleagues were very keen to have a good look and have a play with it. And there was a couple of guys delivering stuff to the store as well that were like, what is that? So it's amazing. It's amazing how Ami still turns heads. I do wonder how long it'll be before, you know, there's enough of them on the roads that it's a little bit more normal. Interestingly though, one of the guys I work with actually said he saw another one, and it definitely wasn't mine because he said it had the grey wheel trims on. So there must be someone else in the area with one. I know the deliveries have been stepping up, so it'd be interesting to know that there must be another one somewhere in Gloucester with sort of a different colour pack on. Some crazy roadworks around here today. It shows doesn't matter what car you're in, you get stuck in traffic just the same. It's been a pretty awful day for traffic in general, to be honest. I mean, sitting in traffic in the van all day as well. So it's getting a bit darker now. It's not totally pitch black. That'll come in the next episode because I'm working a little bit later next time. But a lot of people ask what Ami's like to drive in the dark, and well, it's just like any other vehicle really. The headlights are a lot brighter than you'd expect them to be, and nice bright LED lights, and so the visibility and stuff's just as good as you'd expect it to be. Absolutely no drama at all with sort of visibility and stuff. I mean, I'd quite like to get some anti-fog and maybe some rain repellent stuff on the side windows to help a bit when it's raining and it's a bit miserable, but apart from that, you know, there's absolutely no problem. Wasn't a particularly bad first shift today either. It makes now easily you sort of slip back into something when you've got experience doing it before. I'm actually working alongside another new driver, but someone who's completely new to it, never done it before, and you know, he's sort of struggling to get into the ways of working and stuff, whereas I'm sort of picking up pretty much straight away because I've obviously done it all before. See, I do remember what it was like to be totally new to something, so he'll get there in the end. He definitely will. I'm on my own tomorrow, I believe, so that'll be quite interesting to do a sort of proper shift on my own. Although I did do one of the 2-hour delivery slots on my own today as well, so it's no problem at all. It's a very physically demanding job, but apart from that, it's quite pleasant. Not so great when it's raining, but nice to do something that actually involves, you know, sort of physical stuff. I get paid an awful lot of money at my day job for thinking, and you know, my very much revolves around my knowledge and expertise, and that's what I'm paid for in the day job. And then obviously making these videos isn't exactly the most taxing thing on earth, driving around whittering into a camera, but to actually do something that's just sort of straight up, you know, grafting all day, it definitely feels quite rewarding at the end of a hard day. Get into your uncomfortable little quadricycle to drive home. Feels very rewarding. I was quite impressed to see that just before I left, there was a Royal Mail van there to do a collection at one of the premises next door, I guess. And they were in an electric, I think it was a Peugeot partner. Really good to see Royal Mail switching to electric. I mean, I can't think of a better use case for electric vans than the Postal Service. I mean, the French Postal Service, the entire reason that the 22 kilowatt hour Kangoo ZE even existed was because the French Postal Service bought absolutely loads of them. Because it's just so good for that use case. So it's good to see Royal Mail making the change and embracing electric. I wonder how long it'll be before we'll see some Ami cargoes doing, like, you know, very inner city, like central London, post or parcel delivery or stuff like that. Maybe they don't quite have the luggage volume, but the couriers and stuff could use them. You know, the kind of couriers that go from point A to point B could use them. Maybe they're not quite capacious enough for the postal service, but definitely good to see them making the switch, you know, lowering the carbon footprint and not having all these horrible little diesel vans knocking around all the time. Oh, and there we are then, home at last. Time to get some dinner. And that brings us to the end of the first of these sort of Ami just doing boring stuff type vlogs. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, I'm going to try a few, see how they go down, and we'll go from there. Right, hopefully it'll be popular, hopefully it'll be the kind of stuff you want to see. And I think it shows you know, proper real world use, went to work and back, kind of stuff that, let's be honest, most buyers want to do. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.